Have you ever watched something that completely rewired your brain chemistry?
A procedural network drama might not be your usual pick, but it's ours.
This is The Buddie System, a 911 deep dive podcast hosted by three friends who have DM'd each other enough character dissertations to earn a PhD in media literacy.
I'm Han, coming to you straight from the characters' heads.
I'm Sil, bringing you to the observation deck.
And I'm Rachel, connecting the dots with my red string.
With our powers combined,
No stone is left unturned.
And no buddy is left behind.
Welcome to the Tortured Firefighters Department.
this is our second Taylor Swift special, and Christmas is here, if you celebrate it. Otherwise, it's just a random weekday. This is the first 8 songs of TTPD, because to no one's surprise, we could not shut the fuck up.
Huge shocker.
I was actually surprised, so that's a bold-faced lie, because I was like, these are going to be mini episodes.
Yeah, and then Sil and I came in and we were like, no, we're analyzing this shit.
We originally were going to try and make this 2 episodes, but then we would have deprived you of so much genius analysis, so now it's going to be at least 3. Probably 4. We'll see.
But we're committed.
Should be committed. Probably. We were supposed to be sent away.
They just forgot to come and get it.
I'm so done.
Okay.
When will I be fresh out this slammer? I'm just kidding.
You
Never.
wanted this.
This is a life sentence.
You asked for this. But yeah, we have been chomping at the bit to do this episode. We're so excited. We love this album.
So much.
It's kind of intrinsically interweaved with our podcast and its inception and our favorite characters.
Yeah.
So
By now, our Taylor Swift albums, like our entire albums and assigning them to different characters, are already out. But for this part of that kind of series, we're going to be kind of looking at each song on an album. In this case, obviously, it's Torture Pose Department, and kind of interpreting characters for the songs themselves. So it's kind of similar, but a little more in depth because we're doing a song by song breakdown.
a little more character analysis.
Yes.
And fair warning, which you might already have if you listened to the albums episode, this is Eddie Diaz's album. So it's a very heavy Eddie heavy album. But just because you know that a lot of the songs are about him doesn't mean that we don't have a lot of things to say about it.
Yes. And then, like, on some of them, we may have, like, alternate interpretations as well, just to give a little more variety, because it's very Eddie, like, all the way through.
It's Eddie and Buck.
And
Sometimes Buck and Eddie.
mm-hmm. It's so Buck and Eddie coded, like.
Especially after 808. Like, we were initially supposed to record this
Weeks ago.
Weeks ago.
So many weeks ago.
This was back before 806 or 808 came out. And I was just going through the spreadsheet before we started today to be like, do I still think all of these things?
Yeah.
And I changed a couple of them because of,
Reasons
that we'll get into.
I know, and we took we did our listen through all together, and then we kind of briefly discussed who we thought was going to be which ones. It's been a long, long time since we did that, so I'm kind of wondering, and I haven't really gone through all of them again since then, and I'm wondering if opinion might change. But that's,
You're a Gemini, so
par
most
for the course for
certainly,
me.
unless you're in the same exact mood that you were when you wrote this down.
Ooh, hard to say.
If we have no other orders of business, then let's commence this meeting of the Tortured Buddies Department. Okay, so track 1 is Fortnight, featuring Post Malone.
All right, and this is the first one I think we're all pretty unanimous on. Is that correct?
I think we're unanimous on all of these except 5, which
Nice.
is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's out of 32. So, this is Eddie. So this is none... You're going to get tired of hearing us say that. I'm so sorry.
This is Eddie and that's Eddie.
This is Eddie. This is what sets the tone for the album. She starts it off talking about how, she was supposed to get taken away to an insane asylum.
Which is
Which is where we thought he was gonna go.
Yeah. Like, legitimately, when we started watching live, you know, the latter half of season 7 and the whole, like, Vertigo storyline, and we were like, are they gonna put him away somewhere? Because, like, there's a lot going on.
We were Googling, like... it was me. I was Googling, like, what California state law was on how to get someone into, like, a 72-hour psychiatric hole, like, against their will. We really thought that was going to happen. But yeah, so I think for me, the big reason this is very much Eddie to me, other than the, like, being manic and insane, is very much it's giving the energy of him post 705.
Yeah.
Where he finds out that Buck and Tommy were on a date. And he's like, cool.
You know, like Jake Peralta in Brooklyn, like, cool. All right. Tight. No doubt. Cool.
This doesn't change a thing between us. Looks like he wants to die.
And proceeds to blow up his entire life. Those things are just coincidental.
But yeah, I love you. It's ruining my life.
Yeah.
He loves him. He's ruining his own life.
He is ruining his own life. Oh, gosh.
I think I did my first, well, not that I've done very many edits because I'm very busy with the podcast, but I did my first edit for 911 to this song because it was after the bachelor party and Rachel texted our group chat and was like, oh my God, the lyric of my husband is cheating. I want to kill him. And I was like, oh my God, that's hilarious. And then I made like a minute-long edit. So
that's out there?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I mean, I think so much of like the season 7 just as a whole is also very tied with TTPD in my brain because those were happening like simultaneously. So it was, the brain rot was just 911 and Tortured Poets. Like, that's it. I mean,
it's our entire personality.
It's not too far different from now still. I will say, I also, for Fortnight, I do kind of like to think of it as like a dual perspective, like for both Eddie and Shannon. I think there are a couple things that can like work for Shannon's point of view as well, and for kind of the same reasons.
So I think this is very much like a metaphorical type lyric. Like, this is not, she's not actually like neighbors with this person, like watering flowers.
No.
And like, she's not actually well, I don't know Taylor's life. She could be plotting murder. She keeps writing about it. But it's very much giving the, like, I see you all the time and there's like a lot of feelings there, but like I can't, for whatever reason, like for the reason right now is that she's in a relationship, right? That she can't like address like what they had together. But it's very much just giving Eddie, like, his reason is that he just refuses to like look in the homosexual mirror. Like, he just doesn't see that. So
I was just looking through the lyrics again, and again, because we did these a little longer, I think it was, if I have like different or additional reads for characters, it's probably just like a couple lines that really stuck out to me. So for this, I think it's not necessarily like the entire song, the entire situation, but the chorus where it's like, I love you, it's ruining my life, I touched you for only a fortnight. You know, everything was kind of temporary. That I could see also from Shannon's POV, because like it did ruin her life, and the fact that like it ended.
Wow, Rachel. Holy shit.
Wow, coming out the gate.
I'm pretty sure that's why I put it on there. I was like, oh, it ruined my life. Yes.
Well, I mean, the LAFD does not allow beards, so she had to go.
Wow, we're off to a great start.
Oh my God. Save us, still. Eddie, yes. Just that little slice. Also Shannon to me.
My stance is kind of both, so Eddie and Shannon. I think one of the another verse that like jumps out to me, that it's the both of them or Shannon. We like the POV can alternate really with the song. It's verse 2. All my mornings are Mondays stuck in an endless February. Took the miracle move on drug. The effects were temporary, and I love you. It's ruining my life. I think about when they were still together before they got back together. So like their life in Texas. She at the end of it had to leave.
Yeah.
For her own reasons.
That makes sense. That's also just slightly better than my reason.
That she's dead.
I know, that was great.
As a consequence of, all the other
How
stuff.
many times are we going to say that in this episode? So sorry, Rip Shannon.
Probably a few.
A few, yeah.
Sorry, Shannon. Love you, girl. I think with that, it was the whole them getting back together was for such a short period of time that.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of.
One could say it was only 2 weeks.
So, not to bring this back to the buck of it all, but
everything is about him.
But specifically, I mean, there are a lot of lyrics, but this one I think specifically is what really makes me think of the breakdown starting in 705. All of this to say, I hope you're okay. So he hopes Buck's happy. He wants Buck to be happy, but you're the reason. Buck is the reason. He's literally having a mental break. But no one here's to blame. But what about your quiet treason? It's I feel he mentally, he doesn't know that he's in love with Buck. And he doesn't know that their relationship is not platonic, but he knows that it feels wrong and that he feels kind of betrayed in some way. In a way that makes him do crazy things.
And he does do some crazy things.
He do be doing crazy things. He still be doing crazy things.
He's a wild and a crazy guy.
This is obviously about Taylor's is about a shorter relationship. Supposedly, allegedly. So I'm not really looking at the literal definition of Fortnight, but it really is just we were together. We did everything together. And now you're living next door and we are both with different people and loving you is literally ruining my life.
Cool.
Eddie Diaz, diss you.
Is this your man? Is this your man?
And I'm stand by him.
That's my man. All right. I think we should move this along.
We should move on.
So track 2 is the titular Tortured Poets Department. Now this one, I think we have a couple different positions on different characters. So the way that I am interpreting this song kind of is, I think one of my reads on this was, this is from Taylor Kelly's perspective with the whole who else decodes you? Who's gonna hold you like me? Who's gonna know you if not me? I think that kind of the way that I was reading it was kind of who else is gonna love you like I'm gonna love you? And I feel like that can reads to me a little bit like Taylor Kelly about Buck. Who else will put up with your shit like I will?
There's a couple of because Rachel and I kind of do have the same interpretation. There are there's some words or there's just some lyrics in here that gives Taylor vibes, and some of these that stand out are I think some things I never say, who uses typewriters anyway, because that could sound kind of oh, you silly person, or kind of in a mocking way,
a little
condescending. Yeah, condescending, which I think Buck and Taylor's relationship, at least Taylor, I could be wrong, maybe I'm not wrong, I think I just kind of forgot some of her episodes because they were so long ago and we're in a different era now. Anyway.
We are in a different era.
I don't know, I feel kind of basically all of Buck's relationships, his partners, except for I guess Natalia, treat him in a way where, oh, you're so silly, kind of that kind of vibe. So yeah, I think this is
they treat him like the tattooed golden retriever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Kind of I scratch your head, you fall asleep, oh, you're such a cute little puppy. Who else is gonna love you? To me, and I know there are different ways to read the song and interpret the tone of the song, but to me, one of the ways that I kind of hear it is in this kind of maybe a sense of grandiosity.
Yeah, I was gonna say full. If we're talking about Taylor Kelly, I feel she's exactly full of herself, kind of.
I'm great. What are you doing?
You're not gonna find anyone else like me.
Me hee hee.
Oh my god.
Wrong album.
Han?
So this is one of the ones that I changed today, looking at it through like a season 8 lens, or looking at it with a season 8 lens included with all the other things we know about all the characters. I think I had Shannon here before. So like Shannon to Eddie, but now it's just Buck. It's just Buck at Eddie, because it's, oh, you're leaving me, but who else is gonna be for you what I am? Who else is going to listen? Eddie is like, he is a tortured poet. Like,
oh yeah,
he doesn't look like it on the outside, right? He's not like the quintessential like tortured soul, but he is a tortured soul. He is a lot to handle, like, because he does not communicate openly. He has a lot of, I'm not saying this like in a bad way, I'm just saying like he has a lot of things that have given him a lot of problems in all of his relationships, because he is not open with people, because he like wears these masks, because he doesn't like go all in, all of this stuff. But you're in self-sabotage mode.
I knew you were going to pick out that lyric.
Throwing spikes down on the road. But I've seen this episode and I still love the show. Who else decodes you? Like, because Buck understands Eddie like no one else does or will. Like, he can read him without Eddie saying anything. And he can get Eddie to talk without saying anything.
That's true too. We've spoken about that at length.
Yes. Who's gonna know you if not me?
See, this is more in kind of like a pleading tone, right? Like,
yes.
Like, come on, pay attention to me.
So, like, the way that I look at it is, like, this is, like, a last ditch. Someone is leaving, and you're like, but who else is going to get you? Is going to understand you the way that I do? I think this is way more about understanding someone necessarily than, like love. Because I don't think love is even here, like, lyrically.
No, I would agree with that.
I mean, being held is, and I could argue that like Buck and Eddie, even without touching, like they do hold each other, like they hold each other's like very vulnerable parts, you know, like metaphorically. I can't deal with this bridge. It's one of the most insane things she's ever written. The whole "you'll unalive yourself if I ever leave." And I said that to Jack about you, so I felt seen. That is freak for freak. That is two mentally unwell people staring at each other going, exactly. Which Buck and Eddie are.
All the time.
So, like, everyone who knows us understands why it's meant to be, because we're crazy. And then it's who else is gonna know me, because no one understands Buck like Eddie understands Buck. No one holds him, again, metaphorically, like Eddie does. And I know there's this whole, like, you take my ring off and put it on, you know, the one where wedding rings go. It's the Chris of it all, man. It's the Will of it all there for me. Like,
I like that interpretation too, though.
And then this is like just a last little one. So like in the post chorus, like, because it's always who's gonna hold you, who's gonna know you, who else decodes you, but she throws in who's gonna troll you.
She does?
Yes.
Where?
In the post, like at the very end, she's like, who's gonna hold you, gonna know you, gonna troll you.
Oh, I see that.
Right before the outro. Yeah.
I never saw that before.
And actually, that's very much Buck with Eddie. And Eddie loves that shit. Like he loves getting like, you know, like show grumpy about it. Yeah. So
I like that too. Cool. See, I like when we have different reads of lyrics in the songs like that.
Yeah. Oh, here, I skipped over verse 2. Because the Charlie Puth fucking sorry.
Takes you out.
But you awaken with dread, pounding nails in your head. But I read this one where you come undone. So he knows about Eddie's mess. He knows about all of the good and the bad things and the hard things and the messy things about Eddie. And he still chooses the cyclone. He chooses to be in it with him.
Oh, choosing each other. Oh, I'm weak. Good one. My boy. No, I'm not going to sing every song. I want to, though. Let's see. Track 3 is My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. Did we have a couple different thoughts on this one as well?
No, we all don't agree. Okay.
Ooh, interesting.
Fight to the death. No, I'm kidding.
So for my boy only breaks his favorite toys, I have Maddie. I'm really going with the perspective of before she left Doug. So hence
That makes sense.
my boy breaks his favorite toy being her. So I mean that's pretty much the gist of it. I don't think it's so self-explanatory. Okay, so some of the lyrics that stood out to me to really solidify the point basically is really in the chorus, my boy only breaks his favorite toys. I'm queen of sandcastles he destroys. So like basically a lot of the just destruction really.
Yeah. I think to help you out with that, it's also like, you know, there's this sentiment of once I fix me, he's gonna miss me sort of thing. So it's like,
oh yeah,
whether that's her staying in the relationship or getting out of it, you know, like fixing her life by leaving him like that, like she's gonna be better off actually, as opposed to like what he tells her. Told me I'm better off, but I'm not. And that's like maybe her gathering the strength to, you know, up and leave and not have to deal with that anymore. Does that help?
Yeah.
I like that read. That makes sense. How many times am I going to say, I like that interpretation? Start counting now.
At least 3 more times.
So I think this song, to me, is very much about Eddie. And I think of it from the point of view, like the POV from a couple different people with the same kind of sentiment. So I think there's a little bit of like the girlfriends. So like Shannon, Anna, Marisol, I think they could very easily like think this, you know, because there you have Eddie. He just kind of like, from their perspective, he just kind of like ruins everything. Like things were going great. And then he just does something that he, you know, one of his Eddie things. And it just kind of like all falls apart. Right. I mean, especially with Marisol. You know, the whole Kim of the situation. And I mean, just like in a very like literal sense, like he's like the sandbox of or sandlot of their I always want to say it's sandbox, but I think she says sandlot. Doesn't matter. I think they see him in this sense, like he just kind of, you know, takes a good thing and kind of does something to mess it up. So like that's a kind of surface level interpretation for me. But I also kind of think it might be Eddie, his perspective, him looking at himself in this way, right? Like, you know, as a kind of like taking a look at himself and being like, oh yeah, I broke everything that was kind of good in my life in like a not a productive self-awareness sort of thing, but kind of like a, you know, being hard on himself, being like feeling kind of downtrodden, like, you know, I only break my favorite toys.
Someone who doesn't deserve joy or forgiveness.
Imagine. Yeah, like there's a litany of reasons why we could have played for keeps this time. I feel like he'd probably, you know, he's just repeating himself, putting everyone back on the shelf because he sees himself like doing these things constantly that's like kind of destructive to these relationships. And it's like, oh, next time, you know, once I fix me, next time it'll be better. I'm going to try it again. But it's like he's doing the same things and it's just not, I mean, the whole like, I felt more when we played pretend sort of thing. That is him very much like performing in these relationships, right? And it's like, you know, so all of that's left of him are like left all these broken parts. Like, so I think that he kind of maybe is projecting maybe what Shannon and Anna and Marisol think about him, and he's putting that on himself, and he's like, yeah, I'm no good. I break everything I touch. I'm, you know, I am the sickest army doll. Oh my God. A little bit like playing with myself, but like breaking it at the same time. That's kind of how I think of it.
That's depressing.
Oh, these are going to be really depressing from me, and I'm going to be like, hee ha ha. That's concerning. We don't have time to unpack all that.
We do not.
Just carry on, please save me.
I have Taylor for this.
Taylor Kelly. I feel like we have to specify.
Well, I mean, I love Taylor, but she's like... not on 911 yet.
Yet.
I'm sure you could have a cameo if you wanted.
Just saying, can we start that petition now? That would be fun.
Because, like, it kind of sounds like this is, like, a situation that, like, they've been in before, you know, and that she did go back to it. But, you know, even though he obviously had some flaws in the relationship. But,
right.
Like,
not, like, personal.
No. Well, I mean, that too, but everyone does. But being like, okay, like, we tried this before, but, like, we're going to try it again. And because you made me feel, like, special, like, you made me feel like I wasn't broken. Because Taylor, like, we do get, like, that storyline where we do get to, like, the one storyline we get.
I know.
Where we get to know more about her, which we get to, like, learn about her past, and, like, her baggage with her father, and, like, that's why she got into reporting. So, like, she's very much got, like, some daddy issues and some issues of, like, feeling kind of broken worthy, because not knowing, like, that's why she has, like, this, like, unhealthy obsession with the truth, and the truth at anyone's expense,
right? Because
the truth, telling the truth, no matter, like, when or who it hurts, is more important than anything. But anyway.
No, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's definitely someone who has some baggage, and, you know, I don't think she, like, necessarily looks at herself as broken, but maybe, like, because she is such a strong-willed, like, independent woman, that's intimidating to a lot of men, you know, and Buck can handle that. And Buck seemed to be okay with, like, who she is, because she was just like, I am what I say on the tin.
Right.
You know? And so she thought, okay, like, he's seen me at my worst. Like, he saw me, you know, at my worst in his, you know, because, like, our first interaction outside of, you know, his workplace was him telling me that my job sucks. And so, like, you know, he's seen that side that he didn't like, but, like, still wants to be with me. So I think this is very much like her really thinking, like, going into the relationship thinking that it's gonna make it work, and that, like, they really complement each other, which, like, I think they do personality wise, but, like, as friends.
Oh yeah.
Because of just how she is with her job is just never gonna mesh with Buck long term, like, romantically. No.
They're not compatible romantically, but, like, I lament every day that they didn't have Taylor and Buck just be, like, actual platonic BFFs, because I think sometimes Buck can benefit from someone really just, like, giving him the blunt kind of takes like that. But yeah, that makes sense too. I think it's kind of interesting that I feel like all of our interpretations are a little similar, but we went, like, or, like, for similar reasons, but we went to different characters. So I think that's interesting stuff.
Track 4, Down Bad, crying at the gym. Oh my god.
Han's shirt is just down bad, crying at the gym, with fantastic silhouette of...
Oh yeah, I forgot that this is also just audio for most people. Sorry, I was just, like, very emphatically pointing at my shirt that
if you'd like
a
visual description, Han is wearing a black or navy t-shirt with...
It's navy.
A navy t-shirt with with the text "Down Bad, Crying at the Gym," with a silhouette of someone we know and love very much, spinning a basketball on their finger, and then underneath a dumbbell. And you made it yourself.
I did.
Han, we want that shirt.
I will make it for you. You said you didn't want barbells.
We're going to put a pin on that.
Still has some design tweaks.
She does. She has to get them to me. I will do whatever she wants. She just has to tell me.
Okay. So, funny story before we say the most obvious answer. When we were initially doing our listen through of the album, I think I wasn't a fan of the song. Not that I wasn't a fan.
You mean when the album came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the album
doing
came
our
out.
listen with Nikki.
I think I was kind of like, next. And I think...
No, because I have the same thing, I think.
Yeah, I think it was just kind of like, whatever. And which honestly, I will also say, disclaimer, I think all of TTPD really took me a couple of listen throughs to actually like pick out which songs I actually did really, really enjoy.
It's very dense.
It really is. It's not what she's been doing, I think, or it's half of what she's been doing and half of not what she's been doing. I don't know. That being said, I like TTPD. Don't come at me. It just sounds like
I'm fans of it. Like,
yeah, like why are we doing this? Okay, but yeah. So then I swear to God, I don't know how editors fucking do this. Like they are just like quick.
Oh my gosh, especially in the 911 fandom.
Like literally,
how they're so fast.
Same night, maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours later, there was a down bad video edit to Buck at the gym.
From like 704. Yeah.
So, and that just made me, I'm like, oh, okay, this all makes sense. Oh, that was my own moment.
No, I think it's so funny because like I had the same like reaction, the same thinking. I think we all just kind of like imprinted on that edit, and I don't quite remember whose it was. I wonder if it was
watch me find that.
I think it was Riley or like
that does sound familiar.
Something. I think that might have been like one of the first ones, if not the first one, but that's one that like I saved and constantly like go back to. But it's like it is so funny because we all kind of imprinted on the down bad edits to Buck in the gym from 704, and that just like skyrocketed. I mean, at least for like me and Sil, that like absolutely skyrocketed down bad to like the top of our list for the songs for this album. So it's like, yeah, it's his anthem.
Listen, my one note that I wrote down for this was crying and twerking equals Buck vibes. He wants something that he can cry and shake his ass to. Okay?
It's so relatable.
If we want to point out some very specific lyrics.
Yes, I was just about to ask.
I would love to get to lyrics.
To do that.
So we've got the main chorus. Down bad crying at the gym. Everything comes out. Teenage petulance. Fuck it if I can't have him. I might just die. It would make no difference. I mean, who else is that?
I mean,
who else?
Like word for word. That is.
I mean, yeah.
Buck in that scene,
especially in that situation with the whole Tommy thing, trying to get Eddie's attention.
Yeah,
specifically.
It could also go for 201. Also, you know, if you really think about it that way too.
It's also, I'm sorry to make everything sad now, but post 808.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, did you really beam me up in a cloud of sparkling dust? Just like, did you take me out of my lonely existence just to show me that the world is bigger and brighter and give me a family and then send me back?
Yeah. Just the idea of abandonment in this song, like like staring at the sky, come back and pick me up, like literally.
We're talking about Evan abandonment issues Buckley here.
Like, I might just not get up. I might just stay down bad, which is also very him, especially like after his leg is crushed and, you know, literally has to get the covers ripped off.
It's like, literally, why would I get up? I can't have the thing that I want.
Yeah. Like, God.
He's not even gonna have Eddie or Chris to get out of bed for soon, so. Oh, this is so fun.
How dare you?
And you know what? If we want to make it also sadder.
Oh my God.
You know, the down bed waking up in blood. Just 4:13. I think they use that in the edit. So like
I think they do, yeah.
So every time I listen to this is what I mean. Like this edit imprinted on my brain. So like every time I hear like
it tickles a very specific.
Yeah. So like every time I hear the waking up in blood line, I'm just like, Evan, Buckley, like,
splattered.
Yep.
Blood in his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He knows what it tastes like.
Like, I lost my twin, as if, like, he and Eddie aren't attached at the hip.
Did you? Oh my God. You left me here alone in a field in my same old town. It feels so hollow now. And like, people are going to say I'm nuts if I won't stop talking about you.
It's giving like very much like going through the motions.
Yeah.
Which Buck tends to do sometimes when he's in like one of those kind of spirals.
Yeah.
This whole song is about a spiral.
Yeah.
Right? Just like, I'm losing it a little bit. Like, what am I going to do? Like, I can't do anything because I was in love and now like it's not here and I'm abandoned and it's just like I'm all alone again. Oh my God. How dare you think it's romantic leaving me safe and stranded?
It's one of the worst parts of this entire album. I mean, like, worst as in like emotionally wrecks me, but also is like, it's so good and it's not even a word. It's a like gasping intake, trying not to cry. It's where she's like, how dare you say that she can't even say it's over. Like, and that's Buck right now. Like, he's like, I can't even think about like the reality of like you moving away. Like
I gotta just like, and that's why the teenage petulance comes out, so much. So like, just like Buck, he's I think we just talked about it too. He's like a little hot and
yes,
like all of that is bubbling and bubbling and he just put a lid on it. I think I used that same metaphor. So it's just like simmering now and it's gonna explode.
God, I
teenage
hope.
petulance.
Tim Minear, hear my prayer. 8B. I want to see the manifestation of, so fuck you if I can't have us. Give it to me.
Ooh,
Give it to me.
That goes for that like confrontation.
Yeah, I need the fight.
That argument fight that you were angling for, which like give it to me. Anger, ramping up tension.
Anyway, so this is Buck's song.
Buck is down bad.
It's no one else's song. I'm so sorry.
No.
They can't have it.
He has total ownership. Buck wrote this song.
He gets royalties for this song.
Yeah. This is one of those things where I'm like, she has to write these about like certain characters. She just has to. Like, how does she just like, it's so specifically like, Buck is down bad every day of his life.
Yes. Let's start with So Long London.
No.
I don't think we can pull off the angelic chorus.
No, we'd have to like round robin it, and that's kind of hard right now.
Do some vocal warm-ups. This is going to shock absolutely everyone. But my answer, once again, is that it is Eddie and Buck.
Yes. Shocking. Oh my God.
This is a little bit alternating points of view. You can look at it from Eddie's point of view after 7:05. I mean, you're going to hear me say Eddie after 7:05 a million times in this episode. So sorry. It's not my mental breakdown. It's his. I'm just talking.
You can't be blamed for this.
Speaking truth on
it. It's his fault.
Exactly.
You're just reporting the news, right?
Exactly. So I think it's very much Eddie from post 7:05, and now we're getting into Buck 8:08.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this first verse where it's like, I pull him in tighter each time he is drifting away, and like, all these metaphors for like, I was doing a lot of the work to make sure that like we stayed close.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hope we don't see this, but I think we might see like a Buck emotionally distancing himself to protect himself, because that is something that
he does.
And that is something that Cancer's doing. He is a Cancer moon, so yeah. I can very much see him doing that. So though I stopped trying to make him laugh, he's going to stop trying to decode him. So, and him being like, how much did you think I had left in me to like be left again? Like, go, you'll find someone else. That's obviously not going to be me. And then we have verse 2. Which I feel like could be from both of them. You could look at it from like 704, Buck bothered, bewildered, him being like, I'm the founder of the Eddie fan club. Who is this fucking guy? Who is this fucking guy? Why do you have no time for me?
I'm the owner of this house.
Or you could look at it from Eddie being like, I am the number one Buck stan. What's this guy doing here? Even though he's the one who brought the guy into their house.
Oh my God. I regret that now.
But like, oh my God, I think it is really coming down to more Buck for me, just because of the maybe recency bias for 808 being like, I left all I knew. So like he left behind the like life that he like had built for himself before Eddie, and he built his life around Eddie. Mm-hmm. He built a family with Eddie, and now Eddie, half of that family already left, and Eddie is leaving and taking away any chance that like that family is ever going to come back to him. So like I'm not going to be trying to resuscitate this, and I'm pissed off because I gave you 7 years. Which,
my God.
Am I not wrong? Is that the same amount of time that Joe and Taylor were together?
Oh, that's interesting. Oof.
And then the bridge is where we go back to me being like, please give me a confrontation, something like this, you know, of Buck being, or of Eddie being like, you didn't ask me to stay, or like, you just seemed so fine with letting me go. Mm-hmm. He's like, I was holding on so tight that I was hurting myself, and I had to let go because like you're moving. You never like said anything about including me in these plans, even though we're a family unit.
And there it is with the unilateral decision again. So it's like,
yeah,
it's like if you're not giving us like the or like including me in those decisions, like what's even the point?
Yeah. And then this one is a little weird because I think verse 3 can very much be Buck at Eddie, or I kind of look at it like Eddie at his parents, Eddie at Shannon, like maybe a little bit of Buck, but it's very much like I'm pissed off because like I really loved this place, like he loved LA, or he loved the life that he built with Buck there. Yeah. So it's both of them. Both is good.
Porque no las dos. Oof. That's
London's LA, in case. I'm sorry, I should have said that off the bat. London is LA.
I mean,
London is LA, or it's Eddie, so even.
I mean, I like that because, you know, home isn't a place, it's a people.
It's a people.
So, that's only mildly heartbreaking. That was sarcasm. That's entirely incredibly heartbreaking. I hate that. Oh boy. I think this is more like on a kind of surface level interpretation of the lyrics. I was kind of drawn to thinking about it from Maddie and Shannon's points of view. Maddie, I think for maybe more obvious reasons, you know, my spine split from carrying us up the hill. Also that line, like, I'm pissed you let me give you all that youth for free sort of stuff. Like just the regret, the regret is there that she spent so long, you know, being afraid and, you know, carrying the weight of the rift in this case is just kind of like her carrying the weight of the relationship and the abuse that she took. And finally, so like to me, when it gets to, you know, she stopped the CPR, the spirit was gone, we would never come to. And, you know, she felt like she was dying on the altar waiting for the proof. You sacrificed us to the gods of your bluest days. But when it gets to that point where it's saying, and I'm just getting color back into my face, that to me was like her finding herself again and like going to LA. So in this case, London is not LA, but like that's what she's going to. So I like to think about it in terms of that for Maddie. And I think I had Shannon in here just with Maddie too, the whole it isn't right to be scared every day of a love affair is very like, you know, kind of on the nose sort of thing. And then trying to remember why I put Shannon in here.
I think I had Shannon here before I changed
I think okay. I think it was probably her feeling like she was carrying the relationship while Eddie was probably in the army in Afghanistan, and she's the one, like, you know, being a parent and, you know, in her mind, like, doing all of this legwork and having to deal with Eddie's parents, which we know is a task, and trying. So, like, and when Eddie comes back and she's all like, you know, let's try to kind of make a run for it for ourselves, like, together. And just, I think from her perspective, trying to make that effort of making it work, but knowing that it's not kind of working. So, like, I'm gonna dip instead. So in this case, London is El Paso, which, I mean, I think it very much it can be anyways. So I think that's what I was going with that. Just kind of like this feeling of, like, carrying the burden of the relationship on the shoulders like that.
Well, yeah, like, you left me at the house by the heath.
Yes.
Like, how much sad did you think I had? Like, it really is. Yeah, I'm trying to think of my reasons, and I already closed out of the lyrics. I definitely think it works for her. I had her down before. I'm pissed off you let me give you all that youth for free.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, when you're not sure if he wants to be there. Like,
yeah, because he's gay. Yes.
Well, I had Athena.
Oh, yeah.
The perspective of the situation with Michael, you know, when he decides to finally come out to the family, and they were going through therapy. So, well, couples therapy, and then ultimately that relationship not working out. As far as the title of the song, So Long London, like, no, she's not really going somewhere else. Like, she's not saying goodbye to a place, but she is saying goodbye to that relationship. I think what really solidified Athena was actually the line where it says, "And I'm pissed off you let me give you all that you for free." Because I think, you know, I think that was, I'm not going to say, like, I don't think she sees it as, like, a wasted marriage because she got kids out of that. But, like, you know, she was in a relationship that I guess
ended up being a lie.
Ended up being a lie, yes. There were a couple of other lyrics in here. I mean, I thought I didn't opt in to be your odd man out. I founded the club she's heard great things about. I left all I know. You left me at the house by the heath. So I think that really, that I have the perspective of her finding out about, I think his name was Glenn.
Yeah.
Glenn. Yeah. Glenn.
We called him Rocco.
Rocco. of Glenn, of finding out that, you know, while I think during that couples therapy, I think she was like, oh, you know, we can still be together, but it will just be like a sexless marriage and or something like that. And then he was like, so I actually have been seeing someone. So that was a big yikes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's pretty much some of the ones that really stood out to me to get to where I got to with Athena.
Yeah, that's like smart. You smart. I know. It's like I wish I found more in this album to relate to Athena. We'll get to her in some of the other albums, but yeah, that's pretty good.
But Daddy, I love him.
But Daddy, I love him. Insert Ariel voice.
But Daddy.
Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? And it's just Buddie.
Just like opens the chest and it's like all of our pictures of Buddie.
What do you think? My collection's complete.
Oh, we agree on this one?
Oh, yeah.
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 Perfect.
My notes on this. This is...
Your note on that is so funny.
Yes.
I'm not sure that you want to say it, but...
I'll say it. This is Eddie. I'm so, like, I don't... It's no one else. It's Eddie. My note for this song is religious trauma and Buck and Mpreg.
Oh my god.
One of the things I love about this album, and one of the reasons why it's so... Eddie coded is because there is a lot of unpacking of religious trauma.
Yes.
Which, like, I relate to. Eddie definitely, hopefully, will relate to that shit soon. Oh my god.
Unpack it, Eddie.
Please, I'm begging.
Talk to the
Finally
priest
got my
somewhere.
name dropped in a Taylor Swift song, only to be a nosy fucking bitch at church. So that's disappointing.
So sorry. Yeah, it's like this whole song is just very, very much giving, like, you know, I was raised in a certain way. I don't know why I just went like so southern with that too. Did you hear that?
No.
I was raised in a certain way.
I was raised with certain beliefs and values. Yeah, it's very much giving. I was raised in like a certain way with certain values, and I'm kind of breaking free of all of that. Like I have learned not to care what all of those people think that whose opinion I used to uphold, you know, especially when they're looking down on me for it, like they're on their high horses. And it's also like the pedestals, that goalposts that people put upon you are like so high, like you're never going to reach it anyway. So you might as well just like stop trying to achieve something that you're not going to achieve, and that people, why would you even want to do that to get approval of people's opinion who you don't actually care about and who don't actually care about you, more importantly. So like, might as well just run with your dress unbuttoned, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this is very, in the context of the lens of looking at it as about Eddie, it's very much the queer coding, you know, this is about the repression of it all, and the like, God, the edits are gonna go so hard once he finally breaks out of that closet, man. The song is gonna be so good,
and it's just gonna be a bunch of him risky business dancing to it too. Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so true.
But yeah, it is very much, it's the whole, you know, I forget how exactly I got to be how I am, and I forget if like I ever really believed in any of this, but I do know now, like I have learned that these people who say that being who I am is wrong have only, you know, like put themselves in my life to cage me, to repress me, to make sure that I am not fully myself.
Yeah.
Because they hate me. Because they hate me and people like me.
If that doesn't give the Diaz parents, I don't know. I mean, like, specifically Helena, still Ramon as well. Like,
oh yeah,
he doesn't get a pass here. I think like with that, it's more like a generational trauma thing. Like it was put upon him, and he put it upon.
Well, yeah. I mean, his dad was absent and told him that he had to be the man of the house. That's kind of like his list of sins as far as it. We know, you know, and punishing him for doing things that, like, you know, wrecked the car when he was trying to be the man of the house because his dad wasn't home.
But it's like Helena.
But Helena was the one who was there
and present and actively actively instilling these core values, right? And basically doing active harm in that, if we're interpreting it in that sense. A lot of this is like headcanon sort of stuff based on bits and pieces of canons. So like what Eddie needs to do is like learn that he'd rather burn his whole life down than listen to one more second of all of this bitching and moaning, specifically from his mom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm hoping, I am praying, I am crossing my fingers that we get to see like some kind of confrontation between him and his parents, specifically his mother. You know, basically just tell her off. You know, I don't know. Like Han said, those edits are gonna go so hard.
If he tells them off, that whole bridge.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's my God, save the most judgmental creeps who say they want what's best for me. Sanctimoniously performing soliloquies I'll never see. Thinking I can change the beat of my heart when he touches me. Like, if all you want is gray for me, then it's just white noise. It's my choice. It's the post-chorus too that Rach mentioned. I'll tell you something right now. I'd rather burn my whole life down than listen to one more second of you fucking telling me how to live my life. And I'll tell you that my name is my own to disgrace. Like, my life is my own to do what I want with it, to live how I want with it. And if I'm going to hell, then that's my own choice. And I don't, like, I'm not making choices about my life and living my life for other people the way you think I need to live. The whole, I don't cater to vipers dressed in empath's clothing. Because they fucking gaslit him into thinking that they, like, truly, really just want the best for him and really care about him. And it's like,
it's like
Where was that care when they showed up and just took his son from him when he was obviously having a meltdown?
And like that bridge burned for me, like the whole, benefit of the doubt, thinking that, the Diaz parents want what's best for Eddie, when Helena said, "You'll just bring Chris down with you."
Yeah.
Was that Eddie Begins in like season 3? I was like, yeah, they don't want what's best for you. So absolutely just like screw them.
If you're just going to complain, if you're just going to like bring him down just because he gave Christopher, I don't really remember what he gave Christopher.
It was something else and not a juice
box. But it was not a juice box. Like,
it wasn't the juice.
Wait.
Wow.
Wait.
No,
because I was just gonna say that whole talk, don't bring him down with you. Yeah, that is very queer coding. That's very much like don't taint him with you know that you're wrong. You know that there's something wrong with you. Because how else is he bringing him down? By being home, being a single father, working
by
jobs
doing
to
what his
him?
dad did, by working a lot to provide. Mm-hmm. That's hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, yeah, they are that for sure.
Yes, that. But also, I feel like the song is, in terms of Eddie, like, I think there's a lot of self-actualization in it. We're not there yet. Well, the only way he's going to fulfill that and run around with his dress unbuttoned is if he comes out, tells his parents off, embraces who he is, loves himself.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of going back to what I was talking about like the juice box and all this other stuff, like taking back that role of being the parent that he naturally is.
Yes.
Because he is a good parent. He's not. And Helena and Ramon projecting their own mistakes onto him and his relationship with Chris, like that's just the day he tells them off. I don't know, just snaps fingers.
Yes. Like, yes. You're so right about like this will be like Eddie's self-actualization song, especially I think this song it just can be very queer coded as well, because it's like, again, mentioning the bridge that like Yuhan having people trying to like get him to do stuff or believe stuff, thinking that it can change the beat of my heart when he touches me and counteract the chemistry and undo the destiny. Like, he's already, like, Eddie is already doing so much to, like, break the cycles of generational trauma.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's already, like, in the process of breaking that, like, undoing the destiny. But he has to do it for himself. And that's part of, like, the, and it's just my choice. This wild joy. Hello. And it's just my choice. He has to do it for himself. And like, maybe the Diaz parents will come around. Maybe they won't, but.
So I was looking at the pre-chorus where it's like, stay away from her. The saboteurs protested too much. If the Diaz parents ever find out about the will, I feel like those lyrics could mean a lot. And then it could be like, why did you put him in your will? Like, why, like it could be a whole confrontation.
Oof. I mean, yeah, just like this whole song. And then, I mean, if we want to sprinkle a little, Buddie in there with the stuff about it's just me and my wild boy and my wild joy and like,
yeah. No, I'm not coming to my senses. I know he's crazy, but he's the one I want. Like,
yeah,
we're both crazy.
Mm-hmm. And I love the double read of the line, but daddy, I love him. I'm having his baby. No, I'm not. And there's like been this whole like discourse. I think I saw some TikToks and people talk about it where like the, but daddy, I love him is in quotations, but the I'm having his baby. No, I'm not is not in the quotation. So like, she's not actually like saying that. She's just kind of trying to, give a little shock value. Right? Just like, this isn't true, but like, I just want to see your faces because I know it's going to like appall you and, and I don't care about it anymore.
But I gave him my baby. No, I did. Yeah. But I did.
Yeah. That would be perfect.
No, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
I did.
That's a legal document.
And we're taking him back to LA now. Bye.
Bye.
You should see your faces. Bye. I'm out. So yeah, I think we just analyze that into it's Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. I don't know how else to interpret that.
No.
So.
Still, it's your song.
It is my song. Fresh out the slammer.
Which also very recently just kind of started really rising in my ranks of songs on this album, also because of edits.
I knew these edits were going to go hard.
Yeah.
When Bones happened, I knew it.
I really wanted to make an edit to the song, but I was waiting for them to get boned. I was waiting for them. I was waiting for I was waiting for them to be bones, which they did, thank God. But like, busy with podcast life, work things, so I haven't been able to actually sit down and edit either. But yeah, ever since I heard the song, I was just like, because I was also of the. If you guys have been listening thus far. I have been the one who was like, I do not trust this man. I want them to be done since like, I guess April, May. I guess when they started. So
you got it like right off the bat. Yeah. Props to you.
Well, you fucking icky man. Anyway. Anyway, it got even better now. Yes. Because during 806, we have that like final scene where after that breakup, Buck goes to Eddie's house. So it really lines up with
literally fresh out the slammer.
Fresh out the slammer.
You can't be fresher than that.
It's literally can't be fresher. Okay, it's literally fresh out the slammer. I know who my first call will be to. And his first call, or well, the first person that he's going to see post-breakup was Eddie.
I mean, come on.
That was just
chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you could insert this for his other relationships, too. Because it's like...
Yeah.
As soon as that's over, it's like, it's the Buck and Eddie show again.
Yeah. No, I think my idea for the edit was actually like a compilation of all of his fucking relationships. And then like always going back to Eddie, yeah.
Like they're little magnets.
Yeah.
Eddie's his true north.
But yeah, this did get so much better after 806 because we did our notes and everything a while before then. And it's just like, another summer taking cover, rolling thunder. He don't understand me. Obviously, after 806, like after Confessions.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't. That man didn't understand Buck one iota.
He didn't even try.
He didn't even try. Get some Lakers tickets. Are you kidding? No. Silent dinners.
Gray and blue in fights in tunnels, handcuffed to the spell I was under for just 1 hour of sunshine. Labors, locks, and ceilings in the shade of how he was feeling because it was always about him.
Yes. We said, I think, Sil, you said that too. Like, Tommy, I don't think we've said his name yet. Tommy was very selfish. Like, even in the whole breakup. Mm-hmm. Just, like, centered himself around stuff and, like...
Yeah, like, he didn't... Because it was really just... The breakup was just to protect himself. It wasn't even... There was no consideration for Buck's feelings at all, really. Mm-hmm. Again, if y'all listened up to this point, I think during it was during our watch. I was like, wow, you're really fucking selfish, because the way he broke up with him, and because of, like... And that's really where I immediately thought to myself, oh, you're so selfish. In a way, it was like the anniversary gift that he gave him, because that would have been a gift for himself. The Lakers tickets, I'm referring to the Lakers tickets. Yes. That's literally a gift for himself. And honestly, like, it was just kind of funny that he was also like, go take Eddie or die.
And die. Well, and Buck was like, really? Yeah. He'd rather spend, speaking of, much rather would spending time with Eddie.
Yeah.
My friends tried, but I wouldn't hear it. Watch me daily disappearing. All those nights, you kept me going, swirled you into all of my poems. So it's like he was just talking about Eddie all the time. Also, Eddie's just there. He's just always there. So
Eddie. It wasn't even that Eddie was the third wheel. It was Tommy that was the third
Tommy
wheel.
was the third wheel.
Yeah. Like, they exist together. And
it's a set. Sold it as a set. Do not separate.
No. Like... I don't know what else there is to say. It's like, oh my god, like the bridge, like to to the house.
Yeah.
Like running to the house where you still wait up and that porch light gleams.
But the porch isn't going to be there anymore because he's moving.
Why you got to do that?
I was talking about specifically in the scene in Confessions where it's like he is, and I think we even talked about like how the lighting in that scene was so romantic coded. Like just, you know, showing up on that porch light to the place that he basically calls home, you know, to the one who says, I'm the girl of his American dreams. Like,
yeah. And no matter what I've done, it wouldn't matter anyway, because it literally doesn't matter what Buck does. Like Eddie there will always be a place for Buck with Eddie.
Yeah. And like this whole line, like, ain't no way I'm gonna screw up now that I know what's at stake here. I feel like that is so like specifically Buck coded, but also just Buddy coded in general, because they like Buck would they would both understand. Like once they finally get to that point, it's like this is
once they get over all the hurdles and they're finally together, it's like
like we know what's at stake because anything else pales in comparison. And like you're the home that I'm going to, you know, when I can't visit for a while, and then it's just homecoming. But you also get like that idea of, you know, Eddie waiting there for him anyways, you know, like he knows that Eddie's just going to be there for him, literally have his back. But on the opposite side, like Eddie knows that eventually Buck's gonna come home to him too. Oh, so good. Florida.
Burr, burr, burr.
Boom, 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 boom. As one of the two resident Floridians here. This song is so special to us. And I think we're fairly in agreement here too. I mean, surprise, surprise. It's especially now. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, big shocker here, especially after mid-season finale 808. This hello, Eddie. Again.
Hello, Eddie, our old friend.
They said I was a cheat. I guess it must be true. Like,
this city reeks of driving myself crazy.
But you know what? El Paso also reeks of driving himself crazy too. So like, which is better, you know?
LA is better 100%. At least the parents aren't there.
I think this works both ways if you look at it, like from him, you know, moving
to LA and then also moving back.
Yeah, and it's not even that he's like, oh yeah, El Paso's a hell of a place. That's not what it is. Like,
no, it's literally an escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, in this case, right, it seems like LA is just your home's really only a town you're just a guest in. So you work your life away just to pay for a timeshare down in Destin. So like LA is the timeshare. It's just kind of like almost like a pipe dream for him, I think. And as much as he is like trying to put down roots and trying to, you know, make a true home for him, there's something that's pulling him. I mean, his roots are always going to be like kind of pulling him back to El Paso in one way, shape, or form, whether that's like physically in like location wise with him moving back there, or like trying to actively like escape it, you know. So the act of like running away from El Paso, it's still there in the back of your mind, right? And just like, oof. So like California in this case is the Florida. It's one hell of a drug, because he thought that he created this new life that was so much better for him and Christopher, and, you know, devoid of some of these same problems that he finds himself in which case, like, I think he's trying to run away from himself in a lot of these cases. And no matter where he goes, where he sets up shop, those problems are going to follow him because they're internal rather than
that's
a place.
No matter where you go, there you are.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Please go to therapy. It's so much easier than moving.
And if you don't want to go to Frank, go see Hot Priest, because that works.
Go see Hot Priest again.
Father Brian.
And it's probably less expensive too.
Yeah. So this verse 2, this is him crashing the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like he's a hurricane.
This is the Vertigo arc.
Yeah, he's the hurricane. He got drunk and like dared all of his emotions to just like wash him away. Like he doesn't want to look at his real self.
No.
Barricaded in the bathroom with a bottle of wine. Me and my ghost, we had a hell of a time. Literally.
I'm haunted, but I'm feeling just fine. Literally, Shannon haunting his narrative. So hard. And your cheating husband disappeared.
Uh-huh. The end of this verse is, again, we're back in the gay building again.
Mm-hmm.
I did my best to lay to rest all of the bodies that had ever been on my body.
Yep.
That's him. Like, those are literally the ghosts haunting, like, even the ones who aren't his dead wife. Like, they are all haunting him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because also, what is he trying to run away from? And they keep following. Like, that's what a ghost does. It keeps following because it's coming from the call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah. I need to forget. I've got some regrets. I'll bury them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, can I go as far as to say, bury them in the swamp?
Oh, God.
Which is kind of similar, if you would, to a well.
No.
A natural well.
Canceled.
No. You reached so hard for that.
It's not even that much of
Did you pull something?
It's not
a
even
swamp
that much
and a well.
Wet.
It's wet earth.
Dirt earth.
Wet dirt earth.
Very
listen,
thick.
I understand. You're still canceled.
Thick, muddy. Very muddy.
Very gross, muddy. There's a bunch of... Now, it's worse because there's alligators, which, I mean... Those scavengers, those swamp puppies are going to eat you. Anyway, sorry.
This whole bridge, which is just like, I have some regrets. I need to bury them. I need to forget. I need to bury them.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like, he thinks he's despicable. He thinks he's unforgivable.
At least the dolls were beautiful. Like, this goes back to my boy only breaks his favorite toys. Like, the dolls, performance sort of stuff, only for appearances, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those are his previous relationships. And it's just like, God.
So you pack your life away just to wait out the shitstorm back in Texas. That's all I have to say. I'm done now.
Why is it so
Taylor Swift,
Eddie?
do you have access to Tim Einier's mood board?
For real.
Like...
Do you think they like text each other as she's like, so what about this?
It's like, I'm going to put some Easter eggs in this.
Ugh. I mean, he's learned from her example. So it's just
absolutely.
Yeah. This whole song is just very like picking up, running, like, and it doesn't really matter where I'm running to because I'm actually running for myself. But so it's going to like follow me out there anyways.
But he thinks he's running toward something now, but he's still running away. Because he's still running away because what would he have to do to stay? Confront himself.
Mm-hmm.
Look in a freaking mirror, buddy.
Which he did for 5 whole seconds before he like shook his ass.
Like, yeah. And like I want to get back to that too. The mustache shaving rip. Rest in peace, mustache. Just
single tear.
Because like
strongest soldier.
Your strongest soldier. He did not survive the Great War.
No, he didn't.
Like, no, because like when Eddie did like look in the mirror for that and took his disguise off as he was talking about with Hot Priest, and it's just like there was a moment of like recognition and awareness and acceptance there. It's like, can we get back to that, please? Like, can we look at that a little more?
That's the thing, is that he like he took a peek and then he was like, no. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And then I think he was like kind of back in this stasis of like not really looking at it, but still trying to like kind of experience joy in the way of like getting juice and sweets or whatever.
Yeah, like doing kind of the bare minimum instead of like the actual deep work for it.
But then an actor gave him advice and he chose to take that the most insane way possible. Because again, he's like, well, this will be a great opportunity. It's like his subconscious. Like he's not doing it on purpose.
No.
My dude.
Still doing it. Literally, the one person who will give him like good quality advice about this is Book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need him to stop going to other people.
I know.
No one else is allowed to give this man advice.
No.
I'm so sorry. Bobby.
Because he takes it.
You neither.
Literally?
No.
Bobby tries to be too subtle about his shit.
Yeah.
And like,
Eddie
It's like,
needs to
you
be
need to
bonked
figure it
over the
out.
head with
Oh,
it.
yup.
he does.
That's why Frank didn't work, but that's why Hot Priest did work, because the priest was like, I think you're depriving yourself of joy, specifically.
Mhm.
He's like, oh, what? Oh, wait, actually, you know what? You're right. This mustache is a disguise. It's like one brief, like the clouds parted and there was self-awareness there. And it's just like, duh. It's like, oh, so you admit it. He just needs to be
so
like,
you admit it.
bonk. So you admit it. Yeah. But now, even if he goes to Buck, Buck's not going to be able to tell him actually what's what, because Buck's going to be too busy trying to like, yeah, it's fine. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
And then, like,
Christopher comes
inside,
first.
like, crying.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
that's fine.
also trying to like, well, I need to shut this down. I need to shut these emotions. I need to do something. Probably
Mhm.
literally.
I think we did also have on our bingo card, like, one half of Buddie avoids the other, and, like, that would be wild if that.
I think we're getting there.
Imagine we get bingo right before the season ends, I guess. Have we
We're
checked?
prophets. We
I
prophesied.
did go and check things off after 808, I think. We're not
We don't have
close.
Bingo,
No. I think we still need 2 to 3 more in any place we're at.
I think my only other note about Florida with 3 exclamation points, I feel like you can't just say Florida. I feel like you have to say like Florida.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel the same.
You have to do it that way. I could also see it kind of working for Maddie in the, running, like how we met her in the beginning of season 2 with her like running, Buck being like, oh, so how long you're staying? And she's like, no, I'm not staying. I'm going to keep running. So like her trepidation to even like put down roots anywhere and just kind of like, I'm just going to go on to the next one. I feel like that can work for her as well. But I really love it for Eddie too. So much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had the same. I had both Eddie and Maddie, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I think we banged out Eddie so much, and I'm kind of like, why did I put Maddie? I mean, I know like at surface level, I know why I put Maddie. I just
No, I had her too, but then I was like, there's just too much Eddie for me to talk about now. Yeah. So that wraps up our first part of TTPD, I believe. What?
What a mood lifter.
Listen, we didn't make that. We're just doing our jobs.
Yeah. It's like, it's not our fault. Wrote really heart-wrenching,
depressing
double album that's just like, I'm going to take your heart, rip it in two, shred it into
didn't
little
call
pieces,
it the
stomp
Happy
on it.
Fun Time Department.
No, it is what it said. It is literally like the tortured poets department. Like, we know. But just like, oh.
It is a sad note to go out on.
I know.
Well, is this Christmas?
This is Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
This is Christmas.
Have a happy Christmas.
What have you done?
Joy to the world and all of that.
Yeah, Merry Christmas if you celebrate, or like happy whatever holiday.
Also, happy Hanukkah, because that starts on Christmas this year. So this would be like the second night.
It intersects.
Yeah, it does. It's late this year. Doesn't usually happen like that, but
No.
so happy second night of Hanukkah.
Yay.
Thanks for tuning in for our second Taylor Swift special.
There will be more.
There's going to be so many more. Not like this close together.
No,
Probably.
Like I think
These
we're
are
going to
just
space them
holiday
out
specials,
more, but
we wanted to put something out, but didn't want to put out our regular episodes on the holidays. We were like, let's do a silly fun time. Except this was not
silly fun at all.
I mean, like, it was still fun, but like,
yeah. I mean, are any
is-
of them really silly fun time?
No.
no.
If you liked this, prepare for 10 more. At some point, we'll get through them all.
Or 11. Who knows?
Or 11.
Who knows with this one?
Who knows? I don't know.
I know, and we can't do Reputation until we get Rep TV and Debut TV.
Or
so
debut.
like, those would not be happening anytime super soon.
At this point, I think we're getting karma before we get Rep TV.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
is all of the plaid? Hello. It's something. We don't know what it is.
The fact that she's had orange in her outfits to begin with at all, I'm like, sus.
Oh,
it's
for
not
years.
Your color for anything.
Yeah, it's like karma. Orange. Hello. The door coming down from like the stage at the tour. I mean, like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Sometimes I feel like we're the ones giving her the ideas.
Oh, I guarantee that's happened more than once.
It's just like, ooh,
write that down. Write that down.
This is another situation where we're in the nursing home together and we're like, karma.
Karma's coming. I know
Karma's
it.
coming soon. Just you wait.
It's like, okay, Grandma, let's get you to bed.
But yeah, we really picked a great album to start with for the holidays. It wasn't
something Evermore.
But like Evermore's also depressing.
Yeah.
So like,
but it's
all of it is depressing when you interpret.
Yeah.
When you interpret it, like, oof.
But yeah, I mean, I had fun.
I did too. We hope you guys listening did too.
Yeah.
You know, we figured the 911 fandom and Swifties in a Venn diagram, it's just basically a circle. So,
so far that I have witnessed.
Yeah. Again, with the amount of edits that we've seen set to Taylor Swift songs.
The swiftness in which we get Taylor Swift edits.
Like,
it's like y'all have it loaded up waiting.
I think most people do.
Scene to add to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which, like, please keep them coming because they're
thank you for
phenomenal.
Your service.
Thank you for your service. Thank you, editors. Thank you, like,
bless
all of our love and
even when we have time to edit, Syl and I cannot pump.
Yeah, no,
out edits like
it's
this.
so impressive.
I don't understand. These people they're built different.
Yeah.
But yeah, so happy holidays, or just happy regular Thursday in December.
We're happy just Taylor Swift listening party.
Yeah. Merry Swiftmas.
Merry Swiftmas. Oh, that's perfect.
Merry Swiftmas.
So make sure you tune in next week for the next 8 songs on TTPD, starting with the Eddie Diaz and national anthem, Guilty as Sin.
Remember, don't cry at the gym.
But if you do,
take a buddy with you.
Thank you for listening to the Buddie System podcast from start to finish.
We literally cannot shut up about 911, so please come talk to us on your favorite social media platform.
We're at Buddie System Pod everywhere. That's BUDDIE System Pod.
Leave a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts to get a personal shout out in the next episode. The Buddie System is a Nerdvergent media production featuring music from Divinity.
Can't get enough of the buddies? Subscribe to our Patreon for access to exclusive content and our Discord community.
Catch you next time, and don't forget,
bring a buddy with you.